What's up, guys? It's Living Survival, and one of my frequently asked questions is, what watch do you wear in your videos? Today we're going to be checking out the Suunto Core, so stick with me. The all-black Suunto Core. So guys, I've had this watch about a year, and I did do a video when I got it, but that was one of the videos that accidentally got deleted, so figured I'd do a follow-up. I've had this for a year now, and it's just a great overall wristwatch. I'm really happy with it. Don't have any plans to upgrade it or anything like that. So I just wanted to go through, my thoughts on it and some of the features and things like that. First thing I want to say is that it has a user replaceable battery, which is really nice. You just take the back panel off here and pop a new battery in. I've had this for a year, and I've worn it, probably about 75% of the time. And certainly used the compass a few times, used the stopwatch and the alarm and the temperature settings on it a few times, and haven't had to replace that battery. So it does have a low battery indicator, and so once I see that, I will be replacing the battery. They say the battery lasts 12 months, so probably getting close to needing a replacement battery here. Overall, the watch is really light, and that's probably the only reason why I wear this watch. I'm not a big watch guy. I haven't worn watches in the past, and the reason was that they just felt clunky and heavy on my wrist. This one, however, does not. It's extremely light, and it feels great. Although it's got a fairly large face to it, it feels really great on the arm, at least on my arm. So it is definitely a very comfortable watch. You've got a aluminum bezel here. The bezel does rotate back and forth both directions, so you can set north if you'd like to use the bezel there. It does also have a digital compass that we'll take a look at in a moment. It's got a mineral crystal glass here. I do have a tiny little scratch in it that I picked up right away when I got it, but you can barely notice it, and otherwise it has held up really well. Also on the bezel here, I'm not sure you can see it, but there's a couple scratches. I've seen videos with guys that have this completely scratched off down to the bare aluminum, and it actually looks kind of cool like that. So I'm not too worried about it getting scuffed up. I've definitely banged it a few times where you hit your watch on something and you just you kind of panic for a second and look at it, and you think maybe the glass is going to be busted or something like that, but it's always been able to hold up to the beating. So that's really good. It's got the wristband that came with it. So again, very low profile, and it just feels great on your wrist. So this is an ABC watch. It means altimeter, barometer, and compass. It will do all three features as well as all the other standard features, stopwatch, alarm, things like that. This is the all black military edition, so you can see that the watch itself is all black, and then the display is got a negative display or a blacked out display. People say that that's hard to read. I've never really had a problem with it. At night it does have a backlight, and you're probably not going to be able to see the backlight on camera, but it does have a backlight. It's a very dim backlight, but definitely plenty enough light to be able to read the time or do whatever you need to do in the dark. And there's obviously a reason for that. They want it to be stealth. They don't want it to be this huge light that stands out, and obviously that's the reason for the negative display as well, since it is the military edition. Now I know a lot of guys in the military that use this watch, and they swear by it as well. It holds up really well to the harsh conditions and things like that. So definitely something that will hold up. It's also got sunrise, sunset. It's got a storm alarm, a depth meter for like snorkeling or something like that. It is water resistant up to 30 meters. So you can see here on the main display, it displays the time. And you can see there's a little padlock up there. Basically, I have the buttons locked, and then you have the date on the bottom. Now you can switch that date around into any format you want. You can obviously do 12-hour and 24-hour as well. On the one side here, you have 3 buttons, top 2, and then your center is your menu button. And on the other side, you have 2 buttons. They do have kind of this textured texture built into them, so they are really easy to find and press, and they don't get snagged on anything. Again, even though it's a larger watch, it is really kind of slim on your hand, and it's rounded over, so it doesn't really catch on clothing or anything like that. So again, it's just a great watch to wear, and you hardly know it's on. So if I unlock the screen here just by holding down this button, it will unlock it, and then we can go through some of the features here. You can see that there's 3 different modes here. You've got time, you've got your altimeter and barometer, and then you've got your compass. So you basically can switch between those modes. Alright, so while you're on the time mode, you can press this lower left hand button and it'll go through the features on the time mode, such as the time and date was the first one there. Here's the seconds. Then you can switch to your alarm, and then you can have multiple times. So you can have a few different times set in here if you travel a lot or something like that. Then there is the stopwatch function and a timer as well. And then it will go, you can turn it all the way off if you like, and then go back to the date, which is pretty much where I leave it. So those are kind of the main features of the time tab here. To switch it, we just hit the middle button, the kind of the menu button, and that will switch it to the next mode here, which is the altimeter and barometer. And there is a bunch of different features you can use on that. It is air pressure based. You can set up storm alarms. I haven't really played with that very much, but you can definitely switch the different modes and things like that, and I'll show you that in the menu in a moment here. As on the bottom there, you can see that it's got a log. You can keep different logs, and then again you just press this lower left hand button to go through the different features in the altimeter and the barometer. Also on the altimeter and barometer tab, you can see there that it's got the temperature, which is awesome. Now the temperature isn't going to read this correctly if it's on your wrist, but if you take the watch off for about 10 minutes and let it sit, it will show you the temperature. So you guys can go back to one of my winter camping videos in the tent, and I had this hanging in the tent, and it pretty much read exactly what my standard, regular mercury thermometer read. So it is pretty accurate. And that's nice. So again, you just take it off your wrist and let it set for about 10 minutes or so, and it will tell you the temperature. Right now it's reading 80 because it was on my wrist. It's definitely not 80 in here. You give this a few minutes and that will tell you the correct temperature. So we'll hit the middle button again and it'll go over to the compass mode. Now the compass is really easy to calibrate. You basically just spin the watch around a couple times, keeping it level, and of course you can reset this and do it again if it's not reading correctly, and then the digital compass will basically show you your heading. I've used this a few times and it's pretty accurate. I believe they say it's accurate within 5 degrees. So, and I've found that's pretty much the case. So, pretty cool backup to have. I don't know if I'd rely on this as my main compass, but definitely nice to know that it is on my wrist, and if I had to, know the direction I was heading in, that it is on there. Alright, so going back over to the time tab here, and your other buttons here are obviously going to be like your start and stop and reset for your stopwatch. I won't go into all that. Pretty basic on most watches that have an alarm or a stopwatch. Operation is the same. To get into the menu here, you just hold down this middle button, and there actually is, it might be kind of hard to see on the camera, but there actually is a little seconds marker that will tick around. Now it goes away after a couple seconds, but if you hit any of the buttons, then it will come back and it shows your seconds. But what that also does is when you hold down the menu button, it'll go all the way around in a circle and then get you into your menu. So you can see on the side there you have two different indicators here, and basically you can move up and down with your menu. So you have memory, you have time and date, you have your sunrise, your altimeter and barometer, your compass, general settings, you can set your units, and then you can go back up and down through any of those modes. So to select one of these modes, we can just hit the menu button again, and it'll go into the sub menu for that mode. and we can click through here. You have your altimeter and barometer, your logbook, your record interval. Those would be all the settings for your altimeter and barometer. You can hit this left button here to go back. So those would be all the features that you could save into memory. Go down here, and in your time and date, that will obviously let you set your time and date, your alarm, your countdown timer, your dual time date, things like that. That's where you would set that. We can go back here. We can go into our sunrise, and that would allow you to select your location. And we can go ahead and just say yes, USA, and then yes, we're in Eastern, and then yes, we're closest to Detroit. So that'll give you, fairly accurate sunrise and sunset. Go down into our altimeter and barometer settings here. We can set up a reference, a profile. We can set up our storm alarm. Like I said, I haven't played around too much with that. We don't have much elevation here, so I haven't really had the need to play around with that. Your compass has a few settings. You can set your declination to help with your compass reading. Then on into the general settings, you can turn buttons, tones on and off. You can hear that it's not making any noise when I'm cycling through those. I have the button tones off. Your backlight, you can adjust the brightness of your backlight, and then you can set different languages. Then on into units. You have units for time, units for date, units for temperature, for example Fahrenheit and Celsius, units for air pressure, and units for altitude. And we'll exit back out of the menu by clicking that twice, and it goes back into the main screen here. So very, very nice. And obviously there is lots more features that I haven't even gotten into yet, but that's the basics. Again, a great overall watch. I'm very happy with it. I definitely would recommend it, and I don't have any plans to upgrade this anytime soon. Very happy I purchased this watch. Alright guys, so as always, I hope you enjoyed that video on the Suunto Core. Like I said, I've had it for about a year now, and it seems to just be holding up really well. All the other reviews that I've read and all the other videos that I've watched on it, everybody kind of has the same opinion that it's a great watch, holds up real well. I love the fact that it's really lightweight. The batteries lasted the whole year, so pretty impressed with it, and definitely don't plan on replacing it anytime soon. I've definitely banged and bumped it on a bunch of things, and although there are several little blemishes on it, it doesn't bother me in the least bit. I've seen videos where guys have had the whole entire ring, the paints come off it and everything like that, and that doesn't even bother me. So definitely probably be wearing this for a long time. Like I said, I don't really wear wristwatches, and the reason was because they were just bulky and heavy, and this one you don't even know what's on your wrist. It's that light. So definitely a great option if you guys are going to be checking out a kind of a military style wristwatch that has the features similar to this. Definitely check out Suunto and their lineup of watches. They do have a few other models that are great as well. So as always guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up, and make sure you leave me some comments below. I love hearing from you guys, and I do my best to reply to each and every comment that comes through. So make sure you leave some comments below, and as always guys, subscribe for more videos.